policing the police every single day, and doing what the Charlotte County Sun newspaper and local TV stations won't do every single day.
Okay, so I've seen some videos online of some out-of-control cars driving into crowds and things like that, and let me tell you, this is about $10 online. It's an emergency window breaker, and it even has a keychain. So you put it on a keychain, put it on your bag, and you can rip it off in a case of an emergency. You push this onto their window, and it gives you access to the vehicle that may be about to hurt you and your friends. It also has a seatbelt cutter if you need to remove the person from the car.
So let me tell you, I've seen some videos online of some protesters attacking people that are in cars during a protest. This is a legal firearm. It costs anywhere from $200 to $300. It even has a holster, so if you have your concealed weapons permit, you can easily carry it in your pants concealed legally. In case of an emergency, you can pull your legal firearm from your holster, and you can protect yourself from anybody who's trying to access your vehicle and harm you or the occupants of your car. It also has 15 rounds in case there's more than one protester trying to remove you from your car.
Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace. Unity is the key. Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. You guys forgot a couple of your signs. I picked them up from some of your protests. I want to read them off to you real quick. We're going to start off with all lives can't matter if black lives don't. What do you mean all lives can't matter if black lives don't? Explain to me what all lives can't matter means. I'm gonna throw that piece of shit over there. Defund the police. What does defund the police mean? Does it mean reform the police? Because if it did, you would say reform the police. You want to defund? You want to abolish the police? Then say it. We want to abolish the police department. I'm going to get rid of that sign too. There we go. I like this one. No lives matter until black lives matter. Again, another sign that says no lives matter. How about the lives of the black youth on the south side of Chicago where I'm from? Do their lives matter? Of course not. Of course not. They got to be very specific about which black lives matters. When I was out here and Officer David Dorn was just recently killed, I asked you, did David Dorn's life matter? You turned around and you walked away. So, apparently, no lives matter unless black lives matter. That sounds kind of racist to me. I'm going to throw that one away. We got a whole list on this one, but particularly, I want to call out one hashtag.
We out here at a police protest, and this is what's going on.
If you don't know what hashtag ACAB means, it means all cops are bastards. ACAB, all cops are bastards. So all of these fallen police officers out here, they're bastards. All these men and women in law enforcement out here that are supporting the men and women in blue, are they bastards? Are they bastards? Instead of writing a sign, go say to their face, tell them they're bastards. Go down to the memorial in front of the Fort Myers Police Department. Tell the father of Adam Jones Miller, who's sitting right over here, that his son is a bastard. Put that sign. Oh, I got one more. Defund the pigs. Defund the pigs. And of course, fuck Trump 2020. Of course, we gotta throw. You know why it says fuck Trump 2020? Because Black Lives Matter is not about black lives. It's a political movement. All the money goes to ACTBLUE. We can go on, we can go on. This isn't about George Floyd. This is the Democratic movement. Defund the pigs. I guarantee you, not one of you has the fucking gall to stand up and call one of these officers a pig to their face while we're all here honoring the life given, the sacrifice to the community. I'll throw that piece of shit away too. Defund the police. Defund the police. Who wants to defund the police? You guys want to defund the police? Sure. Take your fucking signs back. I don't need them anymore.
As things wrapped up, a Black Lives Matter protest showed up, and many took exception to it, saying it was uncalled for.
You guys forgot a couple of your signs. I picked them up from some of your protests. Defund the police. What does defund the police mean? Does it mean reform the police? Because if it did, you would say reform the police. Here we go. I like this one. No lives matter until Black Lives Matter. Again, another sign that says no lives matter. How about the lives of the black youth on the south side of Chicago where I'm from? Do their lives matter? Of course not. Of course not.
That fellow's name is Gary Snow. He's a well-known Blue Lives Matters advocate. Many of our local journalists painted a very negative picture about him, but they didn't get any context and asked him why he was so angry. A couple weeks ago, Gary attended a protest here in Fort Myers organized by this same group, and here's what happened.
I'm here to join the candlelight vigil for George Floyd, and I'm also out here to hold a candlelight vigil for Officer Dave Underwood, who was shot and killed Friday by a protester in Oakland, California. Don't touch it, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. This is called freedom of speech. It's freedom of speech. It's for his life. It's in honor of his life.
So according to this woman, it's okay for people to counter-protest a police appreciation event, but it's not okay for Gary to attend their events. In all fairness, this protest was completely peaceful. I did get the chance to speak with many people from both sides of the issue, and we had a healthy debate on this.
This is an event to actually stand for fallen officers, and if you're trying to use this event to try to make your point, you know, I just find it to be in bad taste. This is something that's not to be done. I think there's plenty of opportunity for you to try to bring your politics or to have your protests.
The message is clear at the end of the day, no matter what the actions, you know, portrayed. But as long as the message is out there and somebody's listening, that message can be carried on from a family member, a friend, co-worker. You know, it moves on, and that's how we're going to get across.
About what happened to George Floyd, almost unilaterally, everybody agrees it was a tragedy. But what has happened is the outcome of that is what's starting to divide the country. Because no, a lot of Americans don't believe in riots. They don't believe in looting. Guess what? That's white Americans, that's black Americans. But because you don't say you're for Black Lives Matter, then all of a sudden you're against black lives. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. And that's what's destroying and dividing the country.
And what we've seen after the wake of George Floyd is that Black Lives Matter is a political movement. This is a Democratic, Marxist-funded political movement.
I don't agree with the organization. The organization is a Marxist organization. A lot of their mission statement and their background is actually something that is found in black liberation theology, which is a Marxist ideology, which is one that seeks to actually try to improve black lives through the destruction of the country.
Well, I think the Black Lives Matter organization is made up of believers in black lives, which is what you see here today. So it's hard to criticize an entire organization when the organization is made up of individuals, and the individuals that you see here today are showing up in the spirit of love. We aren't hateful. We aren't here to destroy America and America's values, but we want to hold America accountable so that she can live up to our highest creed.
My name is Chris Knudsen. I'm with the Activist Protection League of Southwest Florida.
So they had to create an organization to train their protesters
on how to effectively and safely get the
not getting
out.
violent. Yes.
We kept it to people that we know that could deliver the message peacefully and quietly. That's what we aim to do. I think you'll lose some of our message when the violence comes out. some people just don't handle their emotions properly. They're hurt, they're wounded, they're bleeding from their personal experiences in life.
But ultimately what you need to understand is that rioting it's a natural phenomenon. If you heat water up, it's going to boil.
For the people in America who want to stand for justice to be done, whether you're talking about George Floyd or Breonna Taylor or Ahmaud Arbery, that's a good and just thing to do. If you then want to take those terrible actions in our country and use it to move Marxism and to promote Marxism and to promote a radical ideology with this really an anathema to America, against American values, then I can't stand with you, and I'm against that.
I truly applaud everyone for keeping the calm, and I wish every single protester across the country could see this group and follow their example. Thanks for watching.
From the first Civil War to Vietnam War, and now we are in a civil war, ladies and gentlemen. But I can tell you this: you saw all these politicians out here. This is a very critical election.
So just your name real quick and kind of speak up a little bit. So.
My name is Chantel Rhodes.
You want to spell it for me?
CHANTELRHODES.
And you represent who?
I represent the peaceful protesters in Beacon.
Tell me a little bit about today.
So today we wanted to show up in the spirit of love, to stand for our cause, not to stand against law enforcement, but we want to stand for a cause that we truly believe in. And you see us here in red and black, and we're showing up in a spirit of love. We're not arguing, we're not having shout outs and debates. We are here to show up in the spirit of love, to not disrupt what they're doing here, to encourage law enforcement officers. That's not our agenda. But our agenda is to stand firm in our mission, and we believe that Black Lives Matter.
Tell me a little bit about just what you felt like you guys accomplished by coming out today, and how you feel about today.
Well, I feel like we stood for what we believed in. We stood in the face of opposition. People were saying things about us that we know are not true, but we chose to remain silent. And we at this point, we want our silence to speak for us. We've been speaking up for quite some time, and this was an opportunity for us to listen as well. We wanted to hear what people would say to us, how they would react towards us, and we wanted to hear the message that was going forth today. Would it sound threatening? Is there something that we are not understanding, that we can work a little bit harder to try to understand the other side? Because I truly do believe that we all love America, and that's what brought us all here today.
Anything else you'd like to add that we didn't discuss that you feel like you want to express? Great, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Backing the Blue met with Black Lives Matter protests. Dozens gathered in downtown Fort Myers on Police Appreciation Day. It's your big story tonight. Thanks for watching ABC 7. I'm Megan Miller. For the most part, both of these demonstrations today stayed peaceful, but our Jessica Babb was there when some clashes broke out. Jessica.
The protesters kept to the side and stayed silent. Organizers say they didn't want to disrupt the law enforcement rally. There were a few tense moments, but overall, everything was peaceful. Many people at the law enforcement rally say they are supportive of their right to protest. In the midst of voices came the silence, sparking a different sound.
You guys want to defund the police? Here, take your f***ing signs back.
Our mission is just not to be loud. We don't want to disrupt. We don't want to just be angry. We want to understand, and we want to be understood.
We wanted to show a real strong solidarity. Protesters silently sitting on the side of the law enforcement rally.
The decision to remain silent was a response to all of the talking that we've been doing for quite some time. We also wanted to hear what would be said to us, and we wanted to hear the message today.
But everything stayed peaceful. Many at the law enforcement rally even showing support.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. I think everybody has a voice, and I encourage them to express their voice.
If you have issues with law enforcement, protest all day long as loud as you possibly can. But you got to keep it peaceful.
When it comes to the call for change, Stephen and Fort Myers Mayor Randy Henderson say defunding police isn't on the table.
We need to get up every day and continue to reform, learn about best practice, be the best that we can, and make sure that we are protecting citizens.
We're standing in love, we're standing in peace, and we welcome each and every one of them to the table to have a conversation with us.
One of the organizers of the law enforcement rally says government is another avenue for change. That's why candidates running for office came to talk with community members at the rally. He wanted people to learn where they stand as the next election rolls around. In the studio, Jessica Babb, ABC.
I hear from you. I want to hear all the issues, and when we do hear all the issues, it'll bring us all together.
Backing the blue. That was the goal in downtown Fort Myers today. The group saying thank you to the men and women who serve our communities.
But during the rally, a group of Black Lives Matter protesters joined silently with a message of their own. NBC2's Jessica Babs in studio as the groups met face to face.
The protesters kept to the side and stayed silent. Organizers say they didn't want to disrupt the law enforcement rally. There were a few tense moments, but overall everything was peaceful. Many people at the law enforcement rally say they are supportive of their right to protest. But in the midst of voices came the silence, sparking a different sound.
You guys want to defund the police? Here, take your f***ing signs back.
Our mission is just not to be loud. We don't want to disrupt. We don't want to just be angry. We want to understand and we want to be understood.
We wanted to show a real strong solidarity.
Protesters silently sitting on the side of the law enforcement rally.
The decision to remain silent was a response to all of the talking that we've been doing for quite some time. We also wanted to hear what would be said to us, and we wanted to hear the message today.
But everything stayed peaceful. Many at the law enforcement rally even showing support.
And make sure that we are protecting citizens.
We're standing in love, we're standing in peace, and we welcome each and every one of them to the table to have a conversation with us.
Officers.
We will not stop. We will not back down. And we don't care how many bad emails we get. We are going to fight.
Halfway through the program, a group of Black Lives Matter activists sat down across from the rally with signs to silently protest. Attenders of the rally then began to direct their attention to counter-protest the Black Lives Matter group. Group administrator Mappa Peacock told me why she thought it was important to show up today.
Yes, today was a rally for the fallen officers. But that is why we came with respect and we showed peace to a whole nother level. And I feel like we got the message clear that we're not here to start a war. We're not here to fight. We're here to unite us. And hopefully they can get the message across one day.
People continue to protest against police brutality across the country. The peaceful protest of Lee County groups saying they are still active. One member telling me the law enforcement support rally felt like a slap in the face.
I have to be here so that this can't go on without opposition. But that's when the people are still being treated unfairly here, and that we will do something about it, and we will always speak up no matter what.
With a sign that said "No Justice, No Peace, Black Lives Matter," the dozen with peaceful protests of Lee County quietly walked over and took a seat off to the side as the support rally continued.
To continue to show solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement, to continue to make sure that people are aware of the message that, that Black Lives Matter.
And they did not go unnoticed. Those who were there to show their support for police came over, chanting into megaphones as the other group continued their silent protest.
No one is free until everyone is free, and what happens to our neighbors, affects us too.
Both of the groups tell me they will continue to show support for their causes through all the tension. In Fort Myers, Andriana Shepard, Wink News, now.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH. I am using any video here with under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.